Entrepreneurs, and especially wannapreneurs, commonly make two mistakes around trademarks. And both these mistakes come from mindset. I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts about these two common mindset mistakes.
Get it trademarked with Trademark Factory.
The first mistake is focusing on the brand itself in isolation from the business that the brand is supposed to represent. And this mistake really has two sides to it. On the one hand, it's putting too much attention to the brand and hoping that the name itself, you came up with a cute name and you get a trademark, and that by itself is going to somehow build the business for you. And the second side of the same mistake really is ignoring the importance of building a brand, simply thinking that, hey, my brand, there's nothing special about it. I don't need to protect it because it's not anything special. Think about it this way. A trademark is a legal right to enforce your monopoly in your brand. And your brand is nothing other than that which helps the market tell your products and services apart from identical or similar products and services of everyone else. So if you're not planning to start a business, if you're not planning to offer products and services or services under that brand to the world, don't worry about the brand, and most certainly don't worry about trademarking it, because again, unless you've got a brand that's designed to identify your products and services to the world, it's not a brand, it's just a cute idea, maybe a cute name, cute phrase, cute image, but that does not become a brand until that brand until that name, phrase, or image represent some product or a service. And I mean, of course, there is a way for you to file a trademark before you launch your products to the market. That's what a lot of successful businesses do, but they don't go out there and trademark random names, random images, random phrases, unless they have an idea that they are going to launch a product or a service that's going to be identified by that name. And so, going back to the two sides of the same mistake, here's what we see a lot. On the one hand, you would get a business owner who comes up with, we can't even call them a business owner because they don't have a business, right? Somebody who comes up with, oh, that's a great name, that's a great word, or that's a great image, and they just want to own it. They just want to own the name. They just want to own the image. They just want to own the phrase. And that's not how trademarks work. Because when we ask them, okay, great, so you came up with this name, what products or services are you going to offer to the world under this brand? They're like, I just want a trademark. So you can't just trademark. You have to trademark in connection with specific products and services. And if you're not planning to offer products and services to the world, when I say to the world, it doesn't have to be worldwide, to the market, right? It could be local, could be national, could be global. But unless you have an idea of what products and services you're going to offer to the market, you don't have a brand, and that which you came up with is not a brand, and it's not something you should be trademarking. The flip side to that is when a real business owner has a real business, has a real product, real service that they're offering to the world, but the name they came up with to them is nothing special, right? They don't look at it as something super creative, super original, and they dismiss the importance of trademarking. And to those people, we always say, hey, it's not about coming up with a great name, or it's not about coming up with a great brand. It's about coming up with a unique brand and making it great over time. There's nothing unique really about the word Apple, right? But because Steve Jobs and the company have put out so many great products and services to the world, now the brand is worth billions of dollars. Not because the word Apple is such a brilliant idea. It's not that Steve Jobs, was sitting there in his garage and thinking, okay, I gotta come up with a great name. I gotta come up with a great name. And he spent a month thinking of a great name. And then when he got it, he called Steve Wozniak and said, hey, you know what? I have this great idea. It's an amazing idea. We're going to, I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we are going to call our company Apple. Right? That's not how it happened. Right? He came up with the idea that they're going to be building computers that are easy for people to use, that people are going to love, that people are going to fall in love with, that people are going to line up for at 5 a.m. That was the idea. And Apple was the symbol of that idea to him. But the greatness of this was not in the name itself. It could have just as easily been any other word. Could have been pineapple. Could have been orange, right? The name did not really define the value of the brand. It's the products and services that did. And the uniqueness, of course, of picking the word, the dictionary word, and making that a brand of a company. So that's how it works, right? So when you've got a real business, a real product, a real service, and you came up with a name for it, don't dismiss it. As your products and services become more and more recognized by the market, the value of the brand also grows. So you've got to trademark it, not because you came up with such a clever name, but because whatever name you came up with represents your products and services. And hey, if you came up with a brand that is copying somebody else, maybe somebody else had already trademarked it, that's a crappy name, you're right. But instead of saying, well, I'm just gonna go on as it is and not trademark my brand, you gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta come up with a new brand that is unique and build goodwill around that. So that's the first big mistake, looking at your brand in isolation from the business, the products and services that you're putting out there to the world. The second big mistake that we see entrepreneurs make is treating trademarks as something like, you know what, if I can get it for a couple of bucks, great. And if not, that's okay too. So that's the mistake we see a lot, especially with entrepreneurs and wannapreneurs who use the low price, cheap trademarking services out there. They look at them and think, oh, well, you know what does it cost? $69, $199. What's the risk, right? If I can get a trademark for $69, great. And if not, that's fine too. Not much of a loss there. Now, trademarking is a long process, right? It takes a year or more. So if you think your business will still be around a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, 5 years from now, if you're building something that will have value, if maybe you're building a legacy around it, in the long term, then treat it as something that has value. And it's not really even about the price. It's about attitude. It's about mindset. Because you can file your own trademark and just pay the government fees, but you have to treat it as a must-have. You must treat it as what trademarks really are designed for. They're designed to help you enforce your monopoly over something that you feel is valuable, right? And if you end up treating it like, if I have it, great. If I don't, then you are building the wrong brand, because you have to love your brand before the market loves it. Nobody's gonna love your brand more than you do. And if you treat it like an afterthought, the market will as well. So these are the two big mistakes that I wanted to go over in this video. So ask yourself two questions. The first question is, are you building a business? Are you going to have products and services under the brand that you came up with? And the second question you ask yourself is, are you going to be serious about it? And if the answer to either of these two questions is no, you're not building a business, or you're not going to be serious about it, then don't bother with trademarks. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste really anybody's time and money to do your trademarking process for you, because that's not the right mindset to do it. And if your answer to both these questions is yes, you are going to build a real business and you are going to be serious about it, then I invite you to click the link in the description to this video and either book a call with our strategy advisors. The call is free, or you can just get started by filling out a form online. And we'd welcome you with the brand that you value, with the brand that you treasure, because that brand represents a real business, real product, real service that you're planning to bring to the world and treat seriously. Really, that's as simple as it is. Now, regardless of whether you're going to use Trademark Factory to trademark your brand, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope you learned something useful. And if you did, make sure to subscribe and get notified whenever the next video goes live. And if you've got a question or feedback, post a comment below. I read every comment and I reply to most of them. So do that, and I will see you in the next video.